Hey guys, this week on The Real DVD Watchers, once again, I have not got around to watching any movies, so I'm going to talk about some TV shows that I've watched this week instead. Last week, obviously, was the season premiere of Dollhouse. So I've just finished watching the second episode of Dollhouse Season 2. Last week, the season opener, it was a good episode, it was good, I enjoyed it. It had Jamie Bamber was a guest star on it, which is great. It definitely seemed to continue the same kind of quality as the end of season 1. This week's episode wasn't quite as good as last week's. It was still a lot better than the opening episodes of season 1. It kind of it was basically about Echo's been imprinted with she becomes like a mother to this kid, and she overhears the husband of this baby ringing. Well, I think he's like calling the dollhouse to say that he doesn't want her there anymore, and that he's going to get rid of the baby. And when she hears this, she kind of goes into psycho mum mode and tries to steal the baby away and stuff. It was quite good. It wasn't bad. It just wasn't as great as last week's. But yeah, it was still worth a watch. So that was Dollhouse episode 2. I also watched this week the pilot for The Middle, which is a new comedy series for ABC. It stars Patricia Heaton, who you might have seen from Everybody Loves Raymond. She played the mum, I think her name's Deborah, on that show. And it also stars Neil Flynn, who plays the janitor in Scrubs. And The Middle, a lot of people have described as being a lot like Malcolm in the Middle, which it is. I mean, obviously it's called The Middle, which is kind of a big... I don't know why they've called it that, because it is a lot like Malcolm in the Middle, and if they're going to come in a way, but yeah, so it is a lot like Malcolm in the Middle. It's basically about... Well, it is about a dysfunctional family, I guess, in a way, but rather than focusing on one of the kids like they do on Malcolm in the Middle, they instead focus on the mum, who's played by Patricia Heaton. And yeah, it's not bad, it was quite funny. I watched a promo before I watched it, and basically the pilot was just an extended version of the promo, in a way, or sneak peek, or whatever it was I watched. But yeah, it was quite funny. Like I said, it's like about a dysfunctional family. The mum is called Frankie, her husband's called Mike. They've got a kid called Brick, who's kind of the youngest son, basically is Dewey from Malcolm in the Middle. There's a daughter who is in high school. She's kind of this awkward kind of character, I guess. She reminded me a lot of Meg from Family Guy. And then you have their oldest son, Axel, who... He didn't really do a lot in the pilot. But yeah, it was kind of funny. I don't think I'm going to watch it every week. I'm not going to keep up with it or anything. I might watch it now and again, or buy this DVD when it comes out or something. I don't know. It's not something I'm dying to see the next episode of. It was quite funny, but there we go. To watch this week, episode 4 of Supernatural Season 5. Amazing. This season is just, every episode so far has been just wow, and this episode was the best one so far. In fact, it was one of those episodes I think that's going to stand out in the show. It was one of the best episodes of the show altogether. It reminded me a lot of the episode early on in season 4 where Dean went back in time to see his mum, whereas in this one Dean goes forward in time. It reminded me a lot of that, and it was really good. And Castiel, who I mentioned when I was talking about the Supernatural opener episode, he has become such a good character. I liked him a lot in season 4, but he's become really funny, and that in season 5, which is great. And yeah, it was just a really good episode, really, really good. And then finally, another show that I watched this week is Heroes. People don't watch Heroes anymore, and a lot of people have given up on it, rightly so as well, because season 3 really was terrible, and I would have given up. I was kind of curious just to see what happened, and I didn't really watch it because I was like, oh, Heroes is back on, I have to watch it. I was kind of just curious to see what it was like, and to be honest, the premiere was quite good. It wasn't bad. It kind of surprised me. I was expecting it to be terrible, and it actually had some good points. So episode 3 was on this week, which I watched, and it was good. I actually really enjoyed it. It kind of focused on the 3 storylines that I really enjoyed in the opening episode, which was Matt Parkman's storyline, Peter Petrelli's storyline, and Claire, who I'm finding less and less annoying every time I see her now, which is good, I guess. But yeah, Matt Parkman, who I've hated for most of the show, his story in season 3 it made me angry. I hated it so much. Basically it involved him suddenly being in love with this girl who it was like, I'm in love with her. It was just it was insane. I hated it. I really did not like that storyline. But basically, this season he's trying to fight against using his powers. He doesn't want to use his powers. Obviously, if you haven't seen the show, he has the power to read people's minds and kind of control people's minds as well. Yeah, he's kind of fighting against that, and he has this. I don't want to say what because it's a kind of a spoiler, and I quite like it. It's quite a cool idea they've gone with, but basically there's something telling him to use his powers, and I really like that. It was a really good storyline, and the whole of the episode I was like, I'll keep going back to that one because that was really good. Peter Petrelli, his character is kind of trying to be a hero now, and he works as a paramedic and he saves people using his powers, and yeah. And Claire is kind of very similar to season 4 of Buffy. She's in college and stuff happens. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, the cast this year, they brought in Robert Nepper. I think that's how you pronounce his name. He was Teabag on Prison Break. He was also in Carnival. He's been in a few things. I really like him. I think he's a great actor, and I was kind of interested to see what his character would be like in Heroes. He kind of I don't know what I'm trying to say. Interweaves. Anyway, he appears in all of the character stories. Well, I think he's going to. He's appeared in a few of them so far, and he kind of mixes in between them all, and he meets up with Peter in the episode that was just on, and that was quite cool. But yeah, it's not bad. I mean, I don't want to say if you haven't watched it, go out and watch it, because season 3 kind of started off okay, and look how that turned out. So I'm not going to recommend it at this point. Maybe later on, when if it continues to go the way that it's going at the moment, it could redeem itself in a way. But I think it's going to be cancelled at the end of this season, so it might be a little too late. But yeah, it's not bad. But like I said, don't quote me on that because it could turn out to be terrible. But at the moment, it's okay, and I'll probably watch the next episode, the next few episodes until it does turn terrible. But it's all right at the moment. It's not too bad. So that is it. There's a few of the shows that I've watched this week. Hopefully, I'll watch a movie next week. I haven't watched one for 2 weeks now. Actually, no, it's probably only been a week. But I didn't do a review last week because I forgot. So I could have reviewed the movie I watched last week, but I forgot about it. So never mind. There we go. Yeah, that is it. Definitely watch Supernatural if you're not watching it. Dollhouse season 2 is pretty good at the moment. The middle is okay. You know, check it out if you like Malcolm in the Middle. And Heroes, it's worth a look at the moment, but I don't know. It could turn out to be terrible. So there we go. Goodbye.